Everyone please, let's bow our heads and have a moment of silence to commemorate the destruction of the Netherlands national football team. They finished third behind France and Sweden, meaning that they will miss out on the 2018 World Cup, making it the second international tournament in a row they will not participate in after failing to qualify for Euro 2016. Damn, the Dutch have always been a highlight of any major international tournament they've entered in, whether it's the unruly infighting which they're infamous for, or bouts of violence, or the tactical innovations such as total football, which has brought about many of the sport's most magical and memorable moments, as well as the game's most celebrated players. Netherlands have always illuminated the world stage in their bright orange kits. When you consider that just 7 years ago, it took an Andres Iniesta extra time goal to defeat them in the final, and 4 years later, they finished third in the World Cup, it makes their omission from Russia next year a truly epic fail. To be honest, the only people to blame are the Netherlands Football Association for their short-sightedness. They appointed a 68-year-old Guus Hiddink who had enjoyed mixed success at club level in Russia as well as the Russian national team, whilst completely flopping with Turkey. Surprise surprise, he flopped with Netherlands too, losing half of his 10 matches in charge, leaving the Orange languishing behind giants of the game such as the Czech Republic, Iceland and Turkey. Hiddink's replacement, his number 2, Danny Blind, the father of Manchester United's Daley Blind. Normally after such a failure, it's protocol to break away and start afresh. The Dutch FA thought otherwise and were rewarded for their bravery when Blind lost his first 2 qualifiers, 1-0 to Iceland and 3-0 to Turkey. Needless to say, the horrific form continued into the World Cup qualifying campaign, and it reached its peak when France battered his side 4-0, which came after the arguably worse 2-0 loss to Bulgaria. To then appoint a 70-year-old Dick Advocat for the 3rd time, a man whose CV is the epitome of mediocre, is just baffling. And at least with Hiddink, you could say okay, back in the day he was a top manager, and with Blind, he was always being primed to replace Hiddink. They made sense, if not ill-judged. Advocat just doesn't inspire, and is actually the butt of all jokes right now. He crazily claimed Sweden couldn't beat Luxembourg 8-0, so guess what happened? The victory left Netherlands needing to beat Sweden by 7 goals to qualify. And to be fair to them, they won 2-0 courtesy of an Arjen Robben double, but that's obviously not 7, so they got knocked out. Absolutely, the Dutch FA have a lot to answer for. But beyond the questionable managerial appointments, the talent well has seriously dried up. The likes of Arjen Robben, Wesley Sneijder and Robin van Persie, all of whom were prevalent in the close shaves of 2010 and 14, are still mainstays of the current side, despite making their bloody debuts when Arsenal were still the friggin' Premier League reigning champions and were still unbeaten. And now that Robin has retired, things become that more grim. Because looking elsewhere, besides Virgil van Dijk, who isn't really tested at top level, I either do not rate them or I don't know who their players are. When Jorginho Wijnaldum, no shade to him, is one of your best players, you know you're not a top side. Honestly, it's symbolic of their downfall. Netherlands have always had world-class players. When they lost the back-to-back World Cup finals in the 1970s, Johan Cruyff was the de facto leader of an innovative team, including Johan Neeskens, both of whom have gone down as all-time greats. In the Euro 1988 winning team, the Ajax and eventually the AC Milan trio of Marco van Basten, Frank Rijkaard and Ruud Gullit were all inspiring, and that's before you even get into the likes of Ronald Koeman. In the 90s and early 2000s, they had an embarrassment of riches in attack. The likes of Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Kluivert, Ruud van Nistelrooy and Mark Overmars kept inverted commas less established players like Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, Roy Mackay and Pierre van Hooijdonk from barely featuring. Those are players, by the way, who are arguably world class during their time. By the time you even get towards the likes of Edwin van der Sar, Jaap Stam Clarence Seedorf, Edgar Davids, Koku, you'd be surprised and at the same time not surprised that team reached 3 out of 4 semi-finals tournaments between the World Cup 98, Euro 2000 and 2004. In fact, despite achieving less than the 2010 team, the team of the 90s and early 2000s stomps all over it. Which actually goes to show that the regression of the Netherlands side has been a slow decline. But why? To me, there is a clear parallel between the introduction of the Bosman rule and the increasing influx of money in the game. Arguably, no league in the entire world has been affected more than the Eredivisie. Ahead of his move to Manchester United, Daley Blind spoke of how Dutch players used to remain in their clubs like Ajax, PSV and Feyenoord to receive an education in the game, and only once they had peaked would they then entertain leaving to test themselves. For example, Bergkamp left Ajax for Inter Milan when he was 24. Huntelaar left Ajax for Real Madrid when he was 26. Sneijder left Ajax for Real Madrid at 23. Nowadays, with the law of riches, teenagers are leaving with an incomplete education, and without the luxury of being in a safe haven, a lot of players have flat out flopped. Memphis Depay, Ryan Babel, Ilario Alaya, and Andy van der Meijden were all hyped as the next big things, and all have fallen to the wayside. Crucially, their attitude, cited as a prime reason. Finally, in the build-up to the 2010 World Cup, Johan Cruyff, rest in peace, criticised the Netherlands for abandoning their total football roots, and even though they reached the final, they did it by practicing the dark arts of football. Van Bommel and Nigel de Jong spent the entire tournament acting like thugs. This kung fu kick on Xabi Alonso in the chest, a painful reminder. The surprise third place in 2014 was only achieved through the tactical master plans of Louis van Gaal, as well as a last minute penalty winner against Mexico in the last 16, which, if I remember correctly, Robben dived for. A penalty shootout win versus Costa Rica in the quarterfinals before eventually losing to Argentina in the semis. So, if you are wondering what in the hell happened to the Netherlands, I have given you a thorough rundown. Please stay locked to the channel because I'll be releasing more content over the weekend. Inter Milan play AC Milan, whilst Liverpool are at home to Manchester United, so best believe I have something to say about those matches. That's all for today. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel, and also click the notification bell so you get alerted the moment my next video is out. Comment with your thoughts, follow me on these social media platforms, and have a good evening or morning wherever you are in the world. I've been Scoop, and I'm scoping out.